What is this feeling of power and drive? I feel known, I feel alive. Where's the feeling of power derive? I know I am alive. Like a night is a secret, sinister, dark, and unknown. I didn't know what I seek yet. I'll seek it alone. That I cannot deprive. Never have I felt so alive. I was in a battle I couldn't survive. Feeling like this. Feeling alive. Like moon, it's just an enigma. Lost and alone in the night. Damned by some heavenly stigma. Blazing with light. It's a feeling of being alive. Filled with evil but truly alive. It's the truth that cannot be denied. It's the feeling of eating American food. I have survived! Sorry for the extra start. They're really weird. Sorry. So, I survived a night of eating American food. And to celebrate, I tried singing Alive from the Jekyll and Hyde. As an attempt to be funny. But I'm sorry about that. Probably sounds terrible. Now I just need to put away my sheet music. And then I'll get started. So, for those who don't know, the song I sang at the start of this is called The Confrontation. No, not Confrontation. Damn it, no. The Confrontation is something very different. I originally tried to sing of sheet music, but the problem is I don't know. I haven't gotten used to listening to the tune in forever. So I essentially just played a YouTube video in the background and tried to match the lines as best I could. Obviously, I didn't sing the whole song. So I'm gonna turn on the background, the desktop audio. Dee-da-da-dum. It's the feeling of being alive. Da-da-da-da. It was basically the same as the original song, or the original musical part, except when it's supposed to say, it's the feeling of being Edward Hyde. I instead went with American food. Because, you know, the things I ate yesterday were unspeakable. The two things I ate last night were like unspeakable evils. Oh my god. I mean, I played it up a little bit, but my god, my stomach hadn't felt. Oh my, what's my neck? No. My neck's not supposed to act like that. Okay, well, either way. I would have continued singing this song, but it's a musical, you know. And, well, one, this is supposed to be a food stream and not me going, oh, let me try singing with my cringy ass voice. Yeah, it's been long enough so for me to be able to curse and YouTube to knock out on my case about it. Yeah. I'm sort of waiting for one of my followers to usually what the. Sorry, something started playing without me really clicking on it. Was sort of wondering why. All right. So, I guess I'll get started. I'll try talking a little bit about stuff, but the problem is this one doesn't have a show where the breaks are. So I have no, and I haven't watched this one. So this could be boring. If it's boring, I'll shift it. That's going to
Totally different food culture. But have you wondered what every state's specialty is? From desserts to savory delights, let's travel back to the 70s to discover the best America had to offer. Here we go. Pecan pie in the south of the USA have a deep history. Since pecans grow in the Alabama region, it's no surprise the pecan pie emerged as an iconic dish here.
Yeah, well, pecans are still very popular. I can imagine that some of the things on this list are going to be still very popular, while others will have probably faded out of history.
Keeping the elements of traditional pies but adding pecans created a great dessert. Baked salmon is a hallmark in Alaska.
Yeah.
They have the Gold Creek Salmon Bake where you can go and catch some of your own fresh salmon. These salmon are native to the rainforests of southeast Alaska and are a culinary delight worth traveling for. In fact, making a nice, cozy salmon bake over an open alderwood fire is a core Alaskan tour.
Also, keep in mind, the 70s was a time when food wasn't all that crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were probably a few things that were like, well, the time in American food was really crazy. One of the sort of crazier was pre this time.
Tourist attraction. Chimichangas found a cozy place in the restaurants of Arizona. This Tuscan special almost became the state's national food because residents could not get enough of the dish.
That's kind of crazy.
Who could blame them? A deep-fried burrito that you can personalize with fillings, toppings, meat, and vegetables sounded like heaven at the time. No wonder over 250 restaurants in Arizona during the 70s were serving chimichangas on their specials menu every day. In Arkansas, fried catfish is a regional hit. However, it actually has deep importance in soul food. The fish is easily available in the southern rivers of the USA, and a simple deep fry with pepper and salt created a beloved dinner. Fried catfish became so widely consumed that it's hard to not associate Arkansas with this fish. Avocado spread for toast is an iconic pairing that was commercialized in the 1970s. The flavors go together like they were made for each other. Californians served this spread as a breakfast item to customers, and it was met with instant success. Who would not want a healthy breakfast? Green chilies became a staple.
I ended up eating I ate one of the leftover burgers. The leftover, grilled cheese melt. Now, last night I showed in the picture, it was, the thing that they made was like from Five Guys, a secret menu item was a sandwich which used grilled cheese sandwiches as buns. Now, when I ordered that, they misunderstood and thought I wanted a different secret menu item, which is still crazy, but it's not as crazy as, using grilled cheese sandwiches as a bun. Instead, it was a grilled cheese sandwich which had 2 pieces of beef inside, two beef patties inside. I also added grilled onions, and the cashier recommended I add mustard and mayonnaise. So, also that's the other reason why my stomach was having so much problem. The sheer volume of mayonnaise consumed in those stupid sandwiches. And I guess for those who haven't watched the previous video, which I posted last night, I fully ate the McDonald's abomination, which for some reason got removed from the video I found it in. Which is basically you get a Big Mac and then you get 3 McChickens, and then you replace the bread with the McChicken patties. And as you can imagine, I asked for them to remove the lettuce because I really think McDonald's. Well, not on the Big Mac because that makes the Big Mac the Big Mac. But my God, that stuff killed me. Or not yet. I'm still waiting for the full response from my body. But God, when I ate that thing, it was my stomach was like, no, why did you do this? Why? What's wrong with you? Also, I have a viewer here. Hello. I have survived last night's poor decisions. And now I'm continuing on. You missed me talking about the prior thing and something prior, and then also you missed my stupid decision to try singing at the start of this stream. I didn't do warm-up, so I'm pretty sure it's a terrible song, but either way. I'm covering different types of American food, like, for now it's stuff from the 70s. So, to see, like, whether it's good or gross or anything like that. So far, things haven't been that bad. I mean, though I'm an American. So, that's a very, very subjective thing. I'm used to eating certain things. I mean, some people might like jellied eel in London. And they might go like, oh, it's jellied eel. It's not that bad. Meanwhile, the rest of the world, what? Eels and what? It's literally just eels and gelatin. Oh, boy. But yeah, no. When I went to the UK with my father, I wanted to try it. But he was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But either way. Back to the thing.
Staple in Colorado, as Fabian Garcia, father of the new Mexican green chili, set up his farm in the state. The residents were quick to adopt this chili into their cuisine. Soon enough, every house was making the...
I may have to end this stream. I may have to go on break for a little while at some point during this stream, because my stomach may finally suffer the consequences of last night. Not to be gross. As I said, what's going to probably happen to me in a little while is, let's see the video. Pardon me for being gross, but this is just the thing I think best suits what's going to happen to me probably in a little while.
Oh, hey, babe.
Sorry about that. One does not just simply eat the stuff I ate last night and survive without consequences. I go between eating a decent food and eating horrible food, and eating a decent amount or eating too little, to basically being to the point where people are like, why don't you just be a competitive eater? But yeah, that weird sandwich from last night, I don't know why I finished it. Let's see if I can find it. See, wait. Big Mac and 3 McChickens. Oh no, let's see. Yep. Oh God, seeing it's making me have a heart. No. The reason why I'm being so dramatic is because this is the thing I ate last night. Yeah. As you can see, your eyes do not deceive you. It is a Big Mac which has had the bread replaced with McChicken patties. I got hot and spicy McChicken patties, so it actually added some spice to it. But my God, I immediately felt something wrong off as soon as I took a bite of it. And for some reason, I finished it. What did I do? Why am I like this? Soon. Soon, fool becomes like Nikocado avocado. And the worst part is, I'm slowly feeling my stomach going like, ha ha ha, ha ha, you're going to suffer in a bit, ha ha ha.
The iconic green chili stew in Colorado. The stew became an instant hit amongst people who looked for a protein-heavy, spicy dinner that would satisfy.
Speaking of, I suddenly feel a call of death. I'll be right back. No, no. What is this feeling of power and drive? Why? What is this feeling of power and drive? Uh, uh. What is this feeling of power and drive? What is this feeling of power and drive? Eh. Okay. Oh, I did not. God damn it! I didn't turn off the microphone. I hope you didn't hear anything too weird. my my room where I record is right next to the bathroom. I'm sorry about that. Though most of the reason why I was for a lot of the time that I was out, I actually I brushed my teeth, like you know, use mouthwash, and then I also like apply deodorant. I do have work after the stream. There is one thing I did not want to try at McDonald's though, which is I guess I'll show you. McDonald's Land, Air, and Sea Sandwich. Here it is. Which is, you take a Big Mac, you put a fillet of fish patty there, and then you can either put, and then you put a McChicken patty, add that as well. That first of all, for me, that just seems worse. Now, having said that, that is all the thing I ate might be arguably worse, but at the same time, as you can see, they keep the tartar sauce in addition to the other stuff. Though I okay, no. Block. The God, where is it? The sandwich I ate before, I didn't keep the lettuce from the McChickens, but I forgot to say no mayo. So basically, I ate 3 McChickens worth of mayo with Big Mac sauce. So as I said, that is why my stomach was not cooperating. Sorry about that. Oh, now stop talking about that. Okay, so now I'm a lot more entertaining when I have somebody who's willing to engage with me. Otherwise, I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Sorry about that.
By their cravings.
Also, if one of my followers who normally does talk to me hears that, it's fine. I don't mind. As I said, I don't need anyone to build their life around me. On top of that, I don't even make a schedule. It'd be easier for my followers to catch me if, you know, I properly made a schedule and stuck to it, but I don't. So it's only my fault. I'm going, where? I want my fans to engage with me. Why don't you make a schedule so that they know when you're going to be streaming and know what you're going to be streaming? So that way they can properly engage with you. Nah, I don't feel like that. Then shut up and stop complaining. You know. Very simple solutions.
As for Fabian Garcia, he's still regarded as the pioneer of Colorado's chili cuisines.
There are many different types of things that New Mexicans do, people from New Mexico do with the green chili. They put it on burgers, they put it on, well, I'm sure I don't need to tell you what chili goes well with. It goes well with almost anything. The steamer cheeseburger,
Connecticut is known for its steamed cheeseburgers. It is believed that the dish originated from Middletown. This is a cheeseburger with a succulent beef patty that has been steamed just right to maximize flavor.
The cheese is even steamed too. They have this, the people who I believe are credited with making it have made this little special device in which, one second. Once again, I'm not beating those allegations of having too many tabs open. Yeah, just making sure. I forgot. I can remember, but I just don't remember where it's from again.
Still regarded as the pioneer of Colorado's chili cuisines.
Come on, let's go ahead.
Connecticut is known.
Yeah. I can't spell for shit. It's literally right there. I was hoping that they would... Is it Ted Steamed Burgers? I've never felt so alive. What is this feeling of power and drive? Is it Ted's Restaurant? I'm hoping to see the steamer, because it is sort of a specialty. I think it's... Let's see. Because they have this very interesting box, which... wait, they have a food truck? Maybe this isn't the place I'm thinking of. Where is it? Because they have... Or... Cabinet? Is it Cabinet? Ooh, damn it. There we go. Okay. Yes. Ted's Restaurant is the restaurant. Now, this might look weird, but you see these little tiny... you see these little trays? They put the ground beef. This is the beef for the burger, and this is the cheese for the burger. They will slide these into this cabinet that it will steam it, and then when they're done, they will they'll put the meat on the patty, and then they'll push the cheese so that it covers it. It adds a completely... I mean, I haven't tried it, but everyone who I've seen online try it seems to think it's pretty good. I mean, it's... Well, it's supposed to be pretty good and a different experience than a regular cheeseburger. But yeah.
For its steamed cheeseburgers. It is believed that the dish originated from Middletown. This is a cheeseburger with a succulent beef patty that has been steamed just right to maximize flavor. You would find the burger in stalls, restaurants, and burger joints. Scrapple is a dish that you will find...
Okay, we have reached one of the bizarre things. Scrapple is also eaten in Maryland, but it's basically a loaf of, well, I'll let it talk.
And pretty popular in Delaware, especially among the middle-aged crowd, but the dish had its roots in Germany and Netherlands. The dish usually incorporates pretty savory flavors like ground meat, spices, and buckwheat. Think of it like a spicy meat pudding. You can't pass Delaware and not pick up a bite of this.
Yes, you can. You can easily do it. It's, some people absolutely love this dish, while other people are like, ew. And to be fair, when I had it, I was not terribly pleased with the taste.
Key lime pie is a Floridian favorite.
This is something that, unless you really don't like limes or citrus, this should be a pie that you should try. It's made from key limes, which are grown in the Florida Keys. They are very small little limes, as you can see there. Well, you might not be able to tell, but they're these little tiny round limes, or like spherical limes, almost completely spherical limes.
It gets its name and its fame both from the key limes that are native to the Florida region and is a sweet, tangy pie that you can find on the shelf of any bakery in Florida. It's popular with people of all ages and has been a staple of Florida's diet for decades.
Good key lime pie is nice and refreshing and hard to beat. But when it's bad, it's just sour.
Peach cobblers dominate the baking scene in Georgia, but did you know they actually were something English settlers brought along with them when they first came to American colonies?
What?
At first, the structure of the pie was unfamiliar to cooks of the region, but bakers soon incorporated and improvised. taking what came and putting their own spin on it.
Oh no.
Kahlua pork is fascinating both in its
It's Kahlua pork. I mean, you know,
cooking
whatever.
process and final flavor. It uses an underground oven to slow cook pork, which gives it a uniquely smoky flavor. You will not
Well, I mean, here they're showing it like, you know, making it at home. But traditionally, you put it in a special underground, well, you dig a hole, you season the meat, and then you wrap it in, I believe, palm or banana leaves. And then you just sort of leave it there for a long time after you bury it again. Now, while that sounds like there might be dirt, that's the reason why it's wrapped in leaves. And I can't remember if it's also put in a... One second. Okay, wait. Pork. I misspelled that. I don't know, I thought the U came afterwards. I started spelling it right first, and I was like, no, I'm probably misspelling it. This is not a weird thing. This is a tasty thing. This is the nightmare video that I'm scared of. Okay. The video I watched yesterday, which had some of the stuff, is the secret fast food items no one knows about, which a number of them people do know about. Which I learned about the thing Guga did from this video, which... Yeah. You can see the burger I was talking about, or the abomination I ate yesterday I'm talking about. Like, between the Sonic and Five Guys, there's a little McDonald's flag, and then you see the McChicken, like, the McChicken abomination right there. But if you watch the video, it's gone. Or at least they might have edited it out because it was probably too unhealthy. But yeah, well, I guess I can't. It's really good looking, but I'll just play
go
it.
to a single feast in Hawaii where this won't be served,
Or
especially
luau,
a
right.
luau feast. These potato skins and this style of serving them became popularized around the mid-60s through several restaurants outside of Idaho. However, it has become a permanent fixture on Idaho menus. It works
Not just Idaho. It's now a pretty popular bar snack. You see a lot of the potato
perfectly
skin
when
there.
it's 2 p.m. and you need a fantastic meal.
Well, okay, not a fantastic meal. When you're drinking and you want to help sober up. Or when you're drunk and you feel like you need something. The starch will help. Well,
Every single time you hear deep dish pizza, your mind goes straight to Chicago, doesn't it? Take a look over to Illinois for once too, because pizzerias there
Chicago's in Illinois.
make an incredibly faithful deep dish pizza.
It's like, you've heard of Austin, but have you heard of Texas? Like, yes. Yes, Austin is in Texas. There's also a Hell, Texas. And then there's fucking Austria, which changed its name. It's now fugging Austria. I guess, you know, I'll just say it. So let's see. Probably misspelled Austria. Yes. They say fugging, spelled fucking until 2021, is an Austrian village in the municipality of Sardorf, located in the Interval region of western Upper Austria. It is 33 kilometers north of Salzburg and 4 kilometers east of the Inn River, which forms part of the German border. The more you know. Though, what are you going to do with it? It's now called fugging.
This pizza, known for its incredibly thick crust, is
Also, I'm not sure if this is the original recipe for deep dish, or if they at this time are using the original one, or if they changed it. Because original deep dish used a different, or like used more of a traditional pizza dough crust. But nowadays, they use a more like biscuit like, or American biscuit like dough. Not they're not using cookie dough. For my American viewers, they were like, yeah, obviously you're not using cookie dough, but you see, I have some UK viewers, and for them, I'm just saying that some of them don't know about American biscuits, and the term biscuit for them is something that usually means cookies for us. So hearing like, that's like, to them it'd be like hearing, hey, I'm taking a chocolate chip cookie dough and I'm putting tomato and cheese on there, and they're like, fucking Americans, why? No, though there is probably some weirdo who's done it.
is one behemoth to take on even on an empty stomach, but it deserves its status as one of the most iconic foods of the States. The pork tenderloin sandwich was created by Nicholas Feinstein in Huntington, Indiana. Having originated from the state, the residents took a greater liking to it than most other sandwiches. They would state that the pork tenderloin sandwich was the best food Indiana has to offer. The sandwich was the perfect crossover between bread-based meat dishes and a burger. If you were in search of a sandwich to put you into a food coma, then this iconic staple from Indiana would not let you down.
Although it is probably just from German immigrants who brought schnitzel and then them putting the schnitzel in the side of a sandwich.
The Made-Right sandwich was a sloppy Joe before sloppy joes were popular in America. This sandwich has deep roots in Iowa.
It is referred to as a loose meat sandwich,
As the concept came into being when Fred Angel franchised his creation of a burger with loose, shredded meat instead of a patty.
That's because it's a little easier to make.
The sandwich was exactly the flavors the state is known for, and it encapsulated the kind of taste palette the locals prefer. Hot brown sandwiches are an open-faced sandwich that Kentucky is known for. The dish is just an explosion of all of America's favorite flavors.
I hear about it all the time, but I've never tried it. But that's because, it's from the Brown Hotel in Kentucky.
Crispy bacon, tomatoes, cheesy sauces, turkey, all served fresh and hot. This dish is exactly what you need when...
Also, the reason why it has those little, flecks on top of that is because after you put that in, you put it into a salamander, which is, or either a salamander or a broiler. And then you put in for a very short time, just enough for the cheese and sauce to sort of get toasted.
When you think of having a crispy sandwich that ticks all your boxes. Gumbo consists of okra and different kinds of seafood, as it...
Gumbo, etouffee, and jambalaya are three sort of similar dishes that use similar ingredients, but they are, for one of them, some of them you cook the rice in with all the ingredients, and then others don't. All three of them start with a roux, which is, flour and...
It actually came to the USA all the way from West Africa when slaves were brought over. It is stated that this boil actually has its roots in several cultures. No one can know for sure.
It's several European, several African, and then several of the native languages, as well as French cuisine.
Sure, but if seafood is your fancy, then not having
Also some Acadian.
gumbo at least one is doing your senses and yourself a culinary disservice. The lobster roll had humble beginnings in a restaurant.
There are two major types of lobster roll that I know of. There is the main lobster roll, which uses traditionally just some mayonnaise, and then there's the Connecticut lobster roll, where rather than using the mayo, you use butter. The main lobster roll can be eaten cold because, it's mayo. But the Connecticut one, I would not recommend eating cold because then the butter solidifies, and then it's also can be a bit too salty if they use a salted butter, and just There's a. I went to see my parents, and we went to a lobster truck. There's a cousin's. Where is it? Cousins. I think it's Cousins Lobster Company. Cousins Lobster Truck. Yeah. They have like several different types, and there's a number of food trucks. They started in Connecticut. They've been on a number of shows. It's pretty good. Though I think the regular main lobster roll is better than the Connecticut one. Where is it?
Called Perry's in Connecticut, but it would find its way to Maine and find incredible popularity there as well. This roll served usually with scallions, greens such as chives, and a mayo dressing.
Well, it depends. Some places do add, the greens, but a lot of the times when I've gotten a lobster roll, they don't add these greens. They'll just put a bunch of chunks of lobster down.
All to complement the delectable lobster within the roll is a treat to your eyes and mouth both. These plump, juicy crab cakes are known.
Of course, it's crab cakes from Maryland. God damn it, I hate crab cakes. I love crab. I love a lot of stuff. I love all the components that go into crab cakes. But for some reason, the sum of their total parts makes them just something I cannot stand. It just sort of tastes bland to me. But everyone I know is like, crab cakes are the best thing in all of Maryland.
Far and wide in Maryland, greased with slightly melted butter, a crunchy exterior, and an interior that is soft and gooey, the crab cakes were a work of art. Mary Anders would often place them on a fish platter, or just eat them as it is. One thing is for sure, they loved their crab cakes more than any other appetizer the restaurant had to offer. The Boston cream pie is so beloved in Massachusetts that it eventually became their official state food. This pie is a creamy sponge cake that goes heavy on the vanilla and finishes.
It's called a pie, but it's always a cake.
With a chocolate ganache, a tried and tested combo that can't be beaten.
Why it's called a pie.
It's one of the finest pastries the state has to offer, and it's iconic for a reason. So you might be unfamiliar with coney dogs. At first they stir up images of corn dogs or hot dogs, but it resembles a frankfurter that has been cradled in a steamed bun. The meat chili and diced onions paired with yellow mustard gave the coney dogs their own distinct flavor profile, making it one of Michigan's finest street foods. The tater tot hot dish was a dreamy mess of food in the 70s. Cracked pepper, rosemary, chopped onions, and a meaty casserole with tater tots became many kids' favorite food in Minnesota, having fond childhood memories of weekends attached.
Not exactly the healthiest of food, but still.
With the hot dish. It was not just popular amongst tater tots loving children. Adults shared the same habit too, because Minnesota locals can't get enough of this ground beef classic.
Yeah, a lot of them ate it since they were kids. It's a sort of homey dish, which, makes them feel comfortable and reminds them of nicer times. And
the Mississippi mud pie is strongly associated with the state itself, both because of its color, taste, and some regional history. The great river that runs through the state has distinctly dark, muddy banks that most locals have fond memories of playing in next to. This cake, with its frosting and chocolate gooey interior, resembles those hues perfectly, and in taste it's a roller coaster of sweetness. A gift from Italian Americans, they may have been an accidental discovery, because some stories go that the first iterations of this dish happened because a chef dropped a raviolo into a fryer and was pretty pleased with the result. These are the perfect appetizer, and you can pick and choose different fillings.
I believe raviolo is a term for a larger ravioli.
To spice up your experience. A gift from Italian Americans. They may have been an accidental discovery, because some stories go that the first iterations of this dish happened because a chef dropped a raviolo into a fryer and was pretty pleased with the result. These are the perfect appetizer, and you can pick and choose.
What the fuck? This is huckleberry. These are huckleberries.
This dish happened because a chef dropped a raviolo into a fryer and was.
What the heck? Does anyone comment on this? Yeah, well, okay.
Pretty pleased with the result. These are the perfect appetizer, and you can pick and choose different fillings to spice up your experience.
They're used in a number of things.
Runza made a significant impact in Nebraska in the 1970s and has been a legendary sandwich ever since. A dough pocket filled with ground beef, cabbage, and onions took the state by storm.
Basically like a hot pot.
Though the sandwich originated from Europe, it found a new home in Nebraska where people started referring to the sandwich as a regional dish. Seafood first set foot in Nevada's casinos in the form of a 50-cent shrimp cocktail promotional deal. Chilled shrimp with a tangy cocktail sauce were an instant success amongst the crowds. By the 70s, iconic restaurants like the Golden Gate advertised themselves as places that serve shrimp cocktail. This drew people from all over the country to visit Nevada for its simple and unique shrimp cocktail. Apple cider is the official state beverage of New Hampshire, so it's no surprise that they create some of the best apple cider donuts. This delicacy, originally from New York, gained popularity in New Hampshire in the 70s, leading to widespread production of what many consider America's best cider donuts. New Hampshire even invested in donuts.
I've heard some people rave these are great, but I've also heard a lot of people say that they are not that much better than a regular donut. I guess it depends on where you're getting it and who's making it.
Machines to increase the production of this treat to meet public demands. Disco Freeze automatically remind people of late nights in the 70s.
Disco Freeze? Disco Freeze? Come on, man. You're an American. You should be able to pronounce like fries as fries.
That were spent partying the night away.
AI voice?
This New Jersey classic established its legacy in the 1970s amongst young people at clubs who were looking to munch some snack-like foods during dance breaks.
Yeah.
Crinkle-cut fries with mozzarella cheese and gravy seemed to be the perfect dish. It instantly became a crowd favorite and is known as an iconic creation from New Jersey.
Minus the cheese.
It's no surprise that the green chili stew had an iconic status in New Mexico. Known as the green chili capital of the world, this spicy stew ridden with green chilies took the state by storm. The sudden boost in popularity could be justified by the fact that in the 1970s, the state of New Mexico actively promoted green chilies as a local delicacy to improve local sales of chilies. New York-style pizza may as well be an edible slice of everything New York has to offer. The legendary status of this pizza peaked in the 70s when the dollar slice came into being. Pizzerias across New York started selling huge slices of pizza for $1 each. These thin, foldable, and now affordable slices of cheese pizza became a symbol of New York, a symbol that we still associate the state with.
For all the non-Americans out there who are watching this, if you come to America, basically everywhere calls thin crust pizza New York style pizza, but it is not New York style pizza. New York style pizza is its own distinct thing. There's, traditional American style pizza, which is what everyone else calls New York style, but it's very different. It's usually thicker. It's usually, well, depending on where you're going, it could be greasier. It can be more bready. It's usually like cheap, but sort also like not great. But either way, I don't know. I do wish there was somebody to engage, because I'm a lot better at saying information, because I don't want to spend the entire video talking about one food for too long, so that's why I'm just doing little short comments. When somebody's like, oh, I'm interested in this, I can talk about it, and then I can stop.
The moment Spanish settlers brought pigs into America, the region of North Carolina adopted them as an important source of protein. So it's no surprise that the local pulled pork BBQ recipe is considered to be the best way to cook up a pork BBQ. As BBQ restaurants started gaining popularity in the 70s, North Carolina's slow-cooked, spicy, and vinegary pulled pork BBQ became one of the most iconic ways to eat.
Wait a second. 1 second. BBQ. Let's see. Is it There's Lexington and North. Okay, yeah. Yeah. There's Lexington style, and then there's Carolina barbecue styles. I forgot. I remember Lexington style, but yeah, there are two styles. Oh, it's okay. Why isn't it just telling me? So Lexington is one style, but what's the other one? Let's see. Two style. Yeah, the Eastern style. I forgot what separates Eastern from Lexington. Well, it'll probably say it. Okay. Why barbecue preference? Like, they're pretty different. Like, I think, yeah, for this one, they just focus on, I believe, the shoulder, while the other style focuses more on the whole pig. There also is a difference in sauces that they use, or if one of them uses sauce and the other one doesn't. I'm really annoyed I don't remember. Sorry about that.
Eat pork. Locals would even shred the pork up to create the greatest BBQ sandwiches in all of America. The 70s was an era when wheat cultivation in North Dakota was at its peak. The best use for when there's plenty of wheat? Use the flour to create a creamy soup with dumplings and potatoes. This led to the creation of Nofla soup, a perfect remedy for North Dakota's freezing temperatures. It was a perfect soup to help people get through the freezing temperatures of North Dakota. Buckeyes originated in Ohio around the 1970s when a resident by the name of Gail Tabor accidentally dipped peanut butter balls into chocolate. The candy looked similar to the fruit which grows on Buckeye trees in Ohio, and hence the...
You're just making balls of peanut butter and just dipping them into melted chocolate? How's that? I don't know the story behind that, but you know. Well, either way. Also, fun fact, the nut that these things are named after, the Buckeye, is poisonous. Which is kind of funny that they're making a
The dessert was named Buckeyes. This iconic food became another addition to a long list of Buckeye-themed items that the state of Ohio had to offer. The Oklahoma chicken fried steak was termed the favorite dish of Oklahoma in the 1970s. This thinly pounded chicken that is breaded and fried was served
and it uses a white gravy
with gravy to CFS, chicken fried steak, enthusiasts across Oklahoma. It was often mistaken to be just another fried chicken recipe, but
there are many different types of gravy used across America. It's just that the most common that's mentioned is, you know, biscuits and gravy, which, once again, the biscuits are not cookies. They are American biscuits, which are made with butter, and they are saltier, and they look similar to scones, but they are not scones. They taste very different. And then they use for biscuits and gravy, they use a sausage gravy.
Do not be fooled. Restaurants in Oklahoma would make it a point to list this dish down as a steak, not fried chicken. Soon enough, this dish became strong competition to regular beef steaks.
It's also called chicken fried steak because they use the same kind of breading that they put on the chicken and the same seasonings in that breading. Country fried steak is basically the same thing, but there are some very small differences. I don't remember. They taste good. They're just not something you should probably eat.
Straight from Marion City, Oregon, the Marionberry pie was the newest pie in town. Had you walked into a local bakery and...
That's because they made the Marionberry by crossbreeding several different plants, several different fruits.
1930 and asked for Marionberry pie, they'd be puzzled. This is because Marionberries did not even exist until the 1940s. Oregon started the production of this hybrid blackberry that took the grocery stores by storm in the 1970s. With newer fruits come newer pies. And so the Marionberry pie became a classic dessert in Oregon.
I never had a Marionberry, so I can't tell you.
You cannot mention Pennsylvania without the Philly cheesesteak. Thinly sliced steak with cheese.
There's also some people say the Philly cheesesteak is their state dish or state sandwich, but I've heard a lot of people say that the Philly cheesesteak is mostly for tourists. What they do like to eat is the roast pork. Let's see. Which is this. It's pork and cheese on a. It's similar to the Philly cheesesteak, except it has. I forgot what the green is, but either way.
Cheese on a hoagie roll was the invention of brothers Pat and Harry Oliveri.
That the place I went to was supposed to have one of the best roast pork and Philly cheesesteaks in the state when I went to Philly, but my problem is that I had one of the worst customer service experiences in my entire life there. I love eating food, but if I have a bad enough experience before getting the food, I just can't taste the food. I don't know.
Owners of a hot dog stand in South Philadelphia, they wanted to come up with newer sandwich options. They introduced grilled beef and onions on bread as a newer option. By the 70s, cheese was added to the mix, and the Philly cheesesteak sandwich was the go-to order for every person looking for a filling lunch. Clam cakes are a summer tradition in Rhode Island. Locals trace the clam cake's history back to Aunt Carrie's, a seafood restaurant in Narragansett, who decided to serve fried dough balls with clams inside. It seemed that adding fresh clams into corn fritters was a great idea, as it quickly took over Rhode Island, with dozens of people lining up to try this incredible recipe. When the Charleston Book Press was publishing a recipes cookbook in 1950s in South Carolina, they had no idea that the creamy shrimp and grits recipe embedded in one of the pages would become a massive hit. Shrimps and grits first appeared on the page of this cookbook, and by 1976, it became the most popular breakfast item in households across.
Just because some people might be wondering, grits is a milled corn product. I mean, okay, that makes it sound like it's heavily genetically modified. No, they just mill corn until it forms this. Grits on their own don't have a lot of flavor. They mostly provide a texture, which is why they're called grits. But they're often served with shrimp. They're eaten as a breakfast item. They're eaten for dinner. They can be eaten in any real way that you would like to have them.
Across South Carolina. The popularity was so extreme that in that same year, shrimp and grits was declared as South Carolina's official state food. Chislic is a dish unique to South Dakota. The dish had a simple preparation of cutting up red meat into cubes, then either grilling it or deep frying the meat. Chislic was brought to the state by a German-Russian man named John Holworth. While South Dakota found the dish to be delicious, the other states did not agree. Hence, Chislic remained within the bounds of this state. Tennessee's Nashville hot chicken is as iconic as it gets. The commercialization of fried chicken
I can tell if they don't mention the story, I will tell you the origin of hot chicken.
Restaurants in the 70s allowed for this spicy, crispy fried chicken to grow in popularity amongst people in Tennessee. The spicy fried chicken was a local soul food that many African American communities consumed in Tennessee before it became commercialized into the American market. The perfect slow.
Oh, okay. So, the Nashville hot chicken originated from a place called Prince's. The owner of said restaurant was a man who was known to be a bit of a womanizer. Now, his wife got angry at him and decided to punish him a bit by adding a ton of spice to their cayenne pepper to the chicken as a way to, get back at him for all of his womanizing. Now, I don't know if he was outright cheating or just flirting. Because, there are some people who, flirt and don't go any further. And then there are people who are straight-on cheaters. I don't know if he was a full cheater or just, flirty guy. But that's not important. He ate the revenge chicken and was like, "Oh my God, this is delicious. I love it. Thank you, honey." And then they basically just started selling that, and it became a massive hit to where you can get Nashville style hot chicken style products in a lot of places.
Cooked, smoky beef brisket can only be found in one state, Texas. Known for its iconic BBQ, the Texas brisket was adopted by restaurants in the 70s as a main dish. Before that, there was only one restaurant in Lockhart that served BBQ brisket exclusively. When restaurants in neighboring areas noticed the sheer hype that this form of BBQ generated, they started serving up high-quality briskets, making the Texas brisket an iconic staple food.
For those who don't know, brisket is a type of meat that's usually very, very tough. So the way they're able to make it, tender through Texas barbecue is by doing by American barbecue styles, or rather Texas style. Depending on where you are, the American barbecue is okay. I'm going a bit of tangent. When you say a barbecue in America, you could be referring to several things. Nowadays, people are referring more to American style barbecue, which is the low and slow cooking, which means like low heat over hours of time. Though it could also be referring to what was called the Great American Barbecue, which is grilling. Grilling is high temperature, short time. But even in America, this stuff gets hard to figure out. Oh, I left my phone in the restroom. I shall return. Sorry about that.
By the 1970s, sweet Jell-O salads were all the jazz in Utah. Made using various fruits and packets of sugary Jell-O, Utah had dedicated salad bars where you could create this rather unhealthy salad. With the rise of health and food critics in the 80s,
for a second there I got worried. Because during a certain point in time, they used gelatin to make savory things, which is how you basically get Jell-O salads and stuff like that. Which that is, oh boy, no. But yeah, that I'm not going to show that. But
this salad met its demise in the food world. In the 1970s, Vermont produced 300,000 gallons of maple syrup. This iconic sweet syrup made from maple tree sap became a defining item for Vermont. It also helped in the economic development of the state.
Most of the maple syrup you get in America, though, is artificial maple syrup. Though, when you're close to Vermont, America, there's laws that prevent you from doing that. Or rather, some people might think that America doesn't care about food, but certain places care very deeply about food. Like Wisconsin, I believe, cares deeply. Like, you can't use margarine. You're not literally not allowed to use margarine, or you can be fined. But yeah.
As they became mass producers of maple syrup. By the 80s, this syrup was added to just about any food that was served up in Vermont. Virginia's iconic Smithfield ham is a salt-cured country ham that was created by a Captain Todd in Smithfield. Known for its distinct salty and smoky taste, the Smithfield ham is one of the best-tasting hams produced in America. Virginia also happens to be one of the biggest ham exporters in America because of the Smithfield ham. The Washington geoduck is a large, flavorful clam.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to come into this. This is an actual animal.
That has been harvested by residents for years in Washington. But it finds its place on this list because in the 1970s, Washington Department of National Resources legalized the commercial harvest of wild geoducks. With this, these flavorful clams started showing up at just about every restaurant in Washington. Soft.
From what I remember, like for the longest time, The primary market for gooey duck clams is China and Asia. Because a lot of the locals are just like, what the fuck, that looks like a dick. It really does. But I've spent too many previous streams looking at gooey duck clams because it's the when people look like, I'll show it to people just because, you know, it's just such a weird animal. You know, if I say, like, well, you know, if there is a God, then they clearly have a sense of humor. By having that thing, which is just funny. But, you know.
Stuffed rolls stuffed with pepperonis are a dream snack for people in West Virginia. Pepperoni rolls first emerged as a popular lunch that coal miners would eat as the protein and fats would keep them energized. In the 70s, local bakeries started producing pepperoni
Normally, or the ones that they ate, I'm pretty sure were not cut, because by having it sealed, that means that, you know, it would stay fresh longer.
rolls and selling them to locals, cementing this snack as an iconic lunch in West Virginia. Cheese curds first arrived in Wisconsin in the 1800s. These fresh cheese curds did not find popularity until the late 1900s when...
Well, cheese curds are a byproduct of the process of making cheese. So, they probably existed before then.
Wisconsin commercialized their dairy industry. By the 1970s, there were over 2,500 cheese factories in Wisconsin alone. Their number one selling item were the cheese curds that found their way into just about any local recipe. A rather interesting choice of meat, Wyoming opted to use bison as the star of their burgers. Local diner joints started selling a burger made with lean bison meat and topped with cheese to customers. Quickly, this burger became an iconic item found primarily in Wyoming, attracting hundreds of people from all over America. Do these iconic foods from all over America stir up tasty memories for you?
This is... I don't think I basically did a very good job covering this. I do wish somebody came by, but, you know, that's... I should stop saying that. Otherwise, if one of my followers does know a comment, does come by, then they'll feel, or watch this, might feel like I'm trying to guilt trip them. I'm not. I just always like talking to people, because I feel like if I'm just talking by myself, or just, you know, being alone, it's not exactly interesting. And it can just be, you know, I don't know what's interesting to people, so if I don't get feedback, I can't really improve. I'm still relatively new to streaming, and I didn't feel like playing a video game this morning. So, especially since I didn't really finish talking about stuff here. But now I'm going to, I guess, cover quickly some of the things. If by the time my next alarm goes off, I think I'll end it. But, let's see, where is the video? Forgotten sandwiches, which, you know, I'm going to show a few of the really weird ones. Meatloaf. Ah, yes. So, there are certain sandwiches that are found in certain parts of America. These are forgotten sandwiches, so they're not really popular anymore, but depending on who you ask, certain things are... Some people are just like, you know, let's see. Weird American inventions that shouldn't exist. Chicken and waffles are actually something that are really well liked, so this person's... You know, and also there's some cultural significance in the South and in the black community, because it was made for jazz musicians. According to the story, when they were finally done performing, it would be sometime between dinner and breakfast. And they say, what do you want to eat? And I don't know, just give me some fried chicken and waffles. And then, you know, they enjoyed eating it like that. And that was, you know, something that became a hit. And then, of course, they have other things like the brain sandwich, which, you know, a long time ago, when meat was short and you need to stretch everything to, you know, be able to eat. In order to survive, you had to eat proteins that normally you wouldn't. And things used to be just much harder. Nowadays, we eat more of what you would consider regular meat and don't eat many organs or stuff like that. But in the past, they had to. So, you know, brain sandwich was something people ate. Some people still have it, but, you know, it's like that. Spam is something that is very popular in some countries outside of America. So, you know, and spam is something that kept people alive during a time where they couldn't really afford meat. Fried squirrel is just, you know, another thing of, oh, we don't have enough meat or we can't afford to buy cow or beef or chicken, so we'll just hunt the critters that are hanging around our area. And even then, most places I know don't sell fried squirrel. It's more of like a dish eaten by certain locals in certain parts of the country. And then there's just like mayonnaise, which, you know, that's a condiment. You don't just eat mayonnaise on its own. And then it's like marshmallows are also something bad. Where it's just like, we're not the only ones who use marshmallows. Liver mush is, you know, once again another thing which is meant to provide protein and nutrients when you were like, I'll watch this some other time. I may do a part 3. I'm going to, I guess, end the stream now. There's a few things I need to do before work. If I was playing a game or if I had some more engagement, I would well, you know, I was actually talking to someone, I might go a bit longer. But there's a few things I want to do before work. Thanks to anyone who's actually come by or watched this video. I'm sorry if it was rather boring. I hope you have a great day, and I don't know if I'll talk more about food later or if I'll play more Lunar or just do that. I think I'll take a break from Baldur's Gate. And I don't know when I'll play Cowboy Bebop again. I will continue playing it, just, you know, going to make sure that whatever. Enough rambling. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll try to stream later, and I'll try to not stream too late. Thank you, and goodbye.